Hello everyone, this is Dion Soul. I hope everyone is doing well. And today, as you see before you, we are looking at the BN Islander. This one right here actually is the BN-2T, which is the turbine version of the Islander. I do have the normally aspirated engine version of this as well, and I thought I would do a little bit of an upgrade and upgrade to the turbine version, which basically I just bought the plane again, except for it's a turboprop instead of a normally aspirated. Was it a good decision? Yeah, I think so. It's good for me because I like my turboprops. I like my prop planes. Of course, I like my jets too, but I like my turboprops. I favor, and what I favor more than anything is high wing aircraft, and that's what you see right here before you is a high wing aircraft that I enjoy to fly. You can pick it up over at X Aviation, and it's $34.95. Regrettably, I had to pay the same price because I lost my email that actually had a discount because I had the previous version, which is the regular Islander. So it was a my bad thing. It's like, it is what it is. Stuff happens. So it's the way it goes. And they do excuse me. And they do say that they are going to support. Oh, I'm assuming by this comment right here that they are going to support X-Plane 12 with free updates when X-Plane 12 rolls around, and so which is good, which is a good thing. Also, too, there is another mod that complements this, but regrettably, it's only a Windows version, and so it's no Linux, and that is this G500 avionics suite for $49. I would buy that in a heartbeat because they do say that it integrates into the turbine with no problems. If somebody in the chat down below or if somebody at X Aviation happens to see this video and says, yeah, Dion, you can do this, this, and this, and you can make it work on the Linux platform, that would be awesome. And speaking of the Linux platform, that's why you see the little logo up there on the bottom of my X-Plane Adventures logo, is that we are on the Linux operating system. I have been dipping my toes into the Linux operating system now for the past 2.5 months, roughly. I started actually at the end of Thanksgiving, precisely. At the end of Thanksgiving, I said, you know what, I'm just going to buy a secondary hard drive, throw a hard drive in my computer, and I'm just going to give Linux a go. So I did a bunch of Linux distribution hopping, which was probably about 12 or so, 13 Linux distributions that I played around with, installing, uninstalling, yada, yada, yada. And then eventually I settled on to a Arch-based Linux, which is ARCO Linux, ARCO Linux. I really have been enjoying ARCO Linux. I like the customization. I actually like the Linux operating system better than the Windows operating system for the simple fact of the freedom to do whatever the heck you want. I really, really like open source. It just gives you that opportunity to be able to tinker with anything you want. I am a tinkerer, but I am not, I'm not fully versed in using the command line and all that other stuff. I can navigate a little bit, but not a whole lot. So for those of you that are in the same boat that I am, that I don't really know the command line, I get you, and I have stumbled my way just by trial and error in doing a little bit of commands by watching YouTube videos and whatnot. So is Linux doable as your daily driver? I would say, especially as a flight simulation and aviation enthusiast, if you're going to be on, obviously, if you're going to be on X-Plane, yeah, it can be your daily driver. It's just that bear in mind, just like what I just showed you with Real Sim Gear G500 avionics that I would like to have, and I would give them my money. Regrettably, they do not support the Linux operating system, and so, of course, you'll have add-ons like that don't work. My add-on experience so far running on the Linux platform has been right around 50-50. And it would have been less than that if I didn't install Wine or a another program called Wine Tricks that you can actually download, and with your installer, that whatever a Linux distribution that you use. Most people use Debian-based Linux operating systems. For me, like I say again, I'm using the Arch, and again, it's one that works best for me with my legacy 2014 hardware. Motherboard, CPU, memory, that kind of thing. So I've been really digging. Arch Linux, and also too, another selling factor for me to download and install a Linux distribution is because that is what Steam is doing. And Steam, with their Steam Deck, they decided to go and sell millions of copies of their Steam Deck using Arch Linux as their distribution for that particular device. So if their engineers have done their testing and found that this is the best instead of Debian-based or Red Hat-based or any of those other type of forks of the Linux kernel, then hey, I'll go with where what appears to be most usable, I guess you could say. But again, like I say, as a Linux platform as a whole, people just don't adopt to it as much, and I hope that turns around over time. So that's why I'm on the Linux platform, or I'm the Linux operating system. And to be frankly blunt and honest with you, with the Linux operating system, for me personally, I've actually been getting better frame rates in X-Plane using a Linux distribution than I am using Windows, which tells me, as a Windows/Linux operating system user, because I still use Windows, obviously, I'm not going cold turkey. I have two hard drives that separate between the two. But what it tells me is that Microsoft Windows is just so bloated, and has had so many years of stuff just being put on top and top and top and that sort of thing, and it's so bloated is about the only word I can describe. That's why I'm getting better frame rates, is I'm just getting better user experience on the Linux operating system as opposed to the Windows platform. And I hope others will come to realize that over time. It just dipping their toes into the operating, because it's not like it was back in 2008 when I first started, dipping my toes into Linux and then dipping out and then coming back in, then coming out. I always just kind of dip my toes every now and then to see how it's progressing. And now it's come to the point where it's pretty good. So enough of the Linux operating system talk and all that sort of thing. So on this Islander Turbo, it's a fine looking aircraft. I like it. It's a utility aircraft, as you can see. So it's not as good looking as other aircraft. It doesn't look sexy, I guess it would be the term that you would use. It's not a sexy looking aircraft. It's a workhorse. It's a utility aircraft. It's an aircraft that says, you know what, I'm here to get the job done. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to F around. I'm here to get the job done. And that's what I see. I see basically a twin engine truck in the skies. It's just a utility vehicle. And it works out really well. I've been playing around with it. And as you can see, I spent 4 hours of my time painting my own livery onto this aircraft, and I am sporting my dad's tail number, i.e. his birthday and initials. It's how I formulated the tail number, and it is just a tribute to him. He passed away back in 2017, and me and my mom and dad were all close because we were a three-person family, and so we were very tight. And just family. And so I got Solar Swings livery action going on here, and looks pretty snazzy for what it is. And like I say, it's really cool. The developer put in a put the Torque Sim is what is who developed this aircraft. I'm surprised Torque Sim. Oh yeah, they did right there. It says Torque Sim right there. I was gonna say, where's their logo? But there it is, right there. They did not put in the ability to be able to put in, have a slider for your own weight. Instead, they just assume that this passenger is going to be 175 pounds, this passenger is going to be 170 pounds, and yada, 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 and that kind of thing, which, I don't know, that's a decision they made. You can switch it over to kilograms or pounds. Of course, I'm here in the United States, so of course we like our poundage. We like to pound, and that's why we're 350 million people here. And so it works out pretty well. It's all right. You can recharge batteries and whatnot. Could they have done more, put more toys for us to be able to tinker with? Sure, that everybody, all plane developers can. The only problem I found with this version of the aircraft is when it's windy out. Even when I have the pitot cover installed. If you turn on the avionics, you'll get the stall warning, and then as soon as I turn off the pitot cover or the inlet covers, I don't know which one it is, but as soon as I turn them off, then the stall warning goes away. So I don't see actually the stall flapper modeled onto this aircraft. So I'm sure it's here somewhere, but I just don't see it. Usually, I'm looking the stall flapper or the stall warning thing is what I'm usually looking for is kind of similar to like the the Cessna 172 version, where it's actually embedded into the leading edge, and then you can actually just go and flip it, which you really shouldn't do because it's very fragile. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. So anyway, we'll go ahead and take off all the covers and whatnot. Unfortunately, you have to take the covers and stuff off like this using the little thing instead of actually walking around and physically having hit points throughout the aircraft where you can take off each individual and actually have a solid walk around. You don't have that ability. This aircraft is semi-steady level, so it's on the lower scale of realism as opposed to high-end like hot start products such as the Challenger 650 or the TBM 900. Those are, I would consider, steady level aircraft. Whereas this one right here is more of a lower end steady level to just high quality, but not steady level. And that's fine. I'm not tripping on that. That's not a dig on the developer. That's how they designed the aircraft. So it's that you've got no quarrel with me on that. So, but anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get on inside this aircraft here. Hitboxes of the are kind of in the area. They're pretty much in the area. There is no special, hidden gems inside here where you would see credit cards on the ground or anything like that. We don't have any of those kinds of things. You don't have any, you can't use the emergency kit or the a fire extinguisher or anything like that. So, which is fine. I'm not really, that's not what you paid the money for. But like I say, it's all right. Let me go ahead and see if I can find the hitbox there to close the door. The hitbox on the door is actually on the door itself instead of out here in the middle of the of the space. They do have that scenario with the door for the this door right here, which is the door for the for the back here. The hitbox is right here as opposed to actually bound to the individual door itself. So I'm not really upset about that. Also, too, you can hear the sound of the doors opening. It's the same sound file that's of all the doors. So again, minor details. If we're gonna nitpick, that kind of thing, but whatever, not really too upset over that. So here we are inside the cockpit of the product, and right off the bat, the first thing I noticed between this version and the normally aspirated version is that we do not have control of the props. The props, there's no prop levers here. It's just a conditioner and the and the throttles. Am I tripping on that? Like, oh well, that sucks. Not really. I don't really care. It's just like whatever. That's just, if that's how the airplanes were designed, then so be it. Also, another side note: this airplane is also, from what I can tell via Wikipedia, this airplane is still in production, which I thought was kind of amazing, because you have this legacy-looking panel Like I say again, like to modernize this panel by having the real SimGear G500 installed. Excuse me as I'm burping. That would have been nice, but no, it's we have we don't have that ability here on the X-Plane or on the Linux operating system. One thing I did notice, it says external. External supply. So I'm taking that as a GPU, a ground power unit, is hooked up into the aircraft. When you turn that on, there is no ground power unit attached to this aircraft here. It doesn't show, and also too, as you can see, it does not. If the external power unit comes on, you usually have some kind of a busing where the power would be bled through to the bus, allowing you to be able to manipulate. Let's say I want to put in a flight plan before I took off, and during pre-flight, we don't have that. So you do have to turn on the batteries, which is fine. But I do notice that during this whole time the battery is on, you do have a battery draw instead of having the external power. Should negligate that, where your battery volt shouldn't be feeding off the batteries. It should be going off of the external power, but that's not how they have it set up. So is it a because right now we're consuming the battery, which in turn is draining the battery down, and eventually the batteries are going to run out if I left here too long. I like the ability to be able to actually turn on the individual. Let me go ahead and turn on the avionics on. Being able to turn on the individual, things individually, which is kind of cool. Now this button does not work. At least I haven't been able to get it to work. I can press a button here, but this doesn't go off. So when you try to move this to the on and off, it doesn't work. Just a minor thing, but just a little bug that I noticed that hey, you got this highlight for an action here, but it doesn't do anything. So just an FYI. We'll go ahead and turn on the this on. But right now, like I said, I can go ahead and put in a flight plan and whatnot. But we are draining, according to this, we are draining the battery. You can see the battery is actually going down, which it really should be staying at neutral or at zero, because all this power being consumed should be going through the external power unit if this is the intent of the way it's supposed to be. So I don't know. So I just happen to notice, things like that. Fuel-wise, the difference is that you have this little fuel tank indicator lights, which you can flip over to the tip tanks or to the engine. So in effect, we've got 4 tanks. When you fill up the tanks, when you fill up these sliders here, go ahead and just turn everything off. So the right fuel tank, you can see as I fill this up, it fills up the tip tanks first. Let me see if I can zoom back out here so you can see the difference. Okay, so I can get both tank indicators in the screen here. So as I'm moving up, you can see how it fills up the tip tank first, and then it starts to fill up the main tank. And that's how you fill up these. So what it does is it will consume fuel from the main tanks in the center of the aircraft, or wherever they are, or on the wings. Sorry, they're not in the center of the aircraft; they're in the wings. And then the tip tanks are last. Is the behavior of how the fuel works, fuel consumption works. Again, no big deal. Get to recharge the battery thing. But anyway, so that's how that is right there. So I think they need to work a little bit on the mechanics of the battery draw. If this is going to be an external power unit, it really first off, they should have an external power unit sitting out there connected into the aircraft, and then two, they need to have it where if you have this switch turned on, it would be consuming battery power. It's consuming the ground power unit as opposed to the battery power instead. That would be my way of doing things. But that's just me. Of course, people are going to make the argument saying, "Well, then Dion, if you know so much, then why don't you build the aircraft yourself?" That's true. You caught me on that one because no, I couldn't do this. So no, nothing away from Torque Sim at all. I'm just stating out these little things I see here. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this aircraft. So we're going to start the aircraft. We're going to start the right engine first, and we'll go ahead and put the fuel on, and we'll go ahead and turn the ignition on. Make sure our fuel selector is at normal operating, which is on the tanks, the left tank, the right tank, as you can see. So they are already set for us, and we will go ahead and start engine number 2. We already got the external power up. If you have it set down here to isolation, it will not start the aircraft. You do have to have the external turned on, which gives you the illusion that you are starting it with the external power. So okay, and you just turn it on. You can hear it ticky tick tick. And we're waiting for it to, and we're probably already set with our N2, so we'll go ahead and put it to low idle right there. You can hear it coming up. Take a swig of coffee for the working man. We got some sound action going on there. Make sure our brake is on. Oopsie. Gotta make sure our brake is on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that takes care of that. So this engine, and let's leave it at low idle for right now. Let's see if it drains when we turn on the generator, alternator, where you want to call it, for this. Okay, so there's no drain of power, probably because we have the external power on. Okay, there we go. As soon as I turn off the external power, see, it's giving us the illusion that the external power is working, but the battery volts were draining, so I don't know. I'm going to turn off the fuel, let gravity do its thing. Now we'll go ahead and turn the external power back on, and we'll go ahead and start the engine number 1. That is starting up. And we'll go ahead and go to low idle. Temperature going up there a little bit, but not too bad. Very good. Alright, we got ourselves a nice good clean start. Go ahead and put on our headphones right now. And now the headphones are on, and now it's nice and quiet. We'll go ahead and turn on the generator, turn off the supply. Go ahead and put this over here, get rid of the igniters, because I think we're good to go. It's a nice sunny day here in sunny Southern California, and so we are fine with that. And I'm going to turn on our heaters, and we'll go ahead and turn our beacon and our navigation lights that I should have already had on before we even started the engines. So that's my mistake. I should have done that first, but oh well, it is what it is. As you can tell, don't care. Not going to lose any sleep over. We're in a simulation, for crying out loud. Anyway, so we're good to go there, and we'll go ahead and just let the nose know that our external lights are on. Let's see if I turn that off if that dims. No, it's not dimming. So I don't know where the indicators are. I guess they're around here somewhere. So we'll just go ahead and turn on that indicator on. Okay, so we are set and ready to go. So now we have to have a purpose of our flight today. So a purpose of our flight, let's go ahead and throw on a little bit of heat. It's a little cool. We'll go ahead and put this over to heat, and we'll go ahead and turn on our fan a little bit, which is cool. So now we got fans going on here, blowing air through everything. So now we're set and ready to go. So where are we going to go today? And that is, it's going to be up to the mission generator god. So let's see what the mission generator's got for us today. All right, so no, we maybe not want that. So let's go over here to bring this bigger so I can see, because old people can't see. And I'm becoming an old person, and I just can't see like I used to. Okay, so Bear Valley, 239 nautical miles. I have no idea where that's at. So you know what? Let's go do that one. It's going to be a little bit of a long flight. So what I will do is I'll get started here. Once we start rolling, then I will fast forward to the active runway, and then we'll take off, and then I'll do a musical montage in the center of this flight, and then we will land the aircraft, come back and land. So that is the overall idea, what we're going to do here. So yeah, I've never been to Bear Valley, and so I don't know Bear Valley. Well, let's see if we can actually do the flight here before we get too excited. Because I do have limited, yeah, see we only have 480 pounds of stuff. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to fly two patients to Bear Valley. As always, if you be caught and killed, it would be disavow your knowledge of your actions. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, so this is a 3D. This, well, they call this the KWJF as an add-on, is because I actually modified the out of the box to be able to have all the lights and stuff in here. VFR day. Okay, so 400 pounds. Of course, it says plus pilot, but you find out that really it's not really the case. It's actually 400 pounds for the cargo or the payload, and then it actually adds another 170 pounds on top of it for you as the pilot. It's basically how it works. So we got two patients going over there. Now, it doesn't tell you what kind of patients they are. They could be mental patients for all I know, so whatever. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and accept flight. So flight is accepted. So we are going to 73 CA, and because we're going to do VFR, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video real quick, and then I'm going to do my flight plan, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I made this quick and simple. So basically what I did is I went over here to the handy dandy little nav map and just put in my two waypoints and said I need to go from point A to point B, and then hit the little magic button there, and it created a flight plan for me. And as you can see, the profile over here on the bottom here, we're going to climb up to 13,500 feet, which we can probably get away with 11,500 feet. So I think I'd probably need to adjust that, because if I can get away with 11,000 a little bit, I'd be better off. That would be 2,000 or 3,000 separation between, so that's good. I'll go with that. But anyway, so that is that's what we got going on here. So we'll go ahead and just set this is up, and now we'll jump back into here to the sim. And because I went in, and actually I should say this, what I did also with little nav map, as I also went over here and said save it, export it to X-Plane 11. So now I exported the thing, so I don't have to sit there, because we are running the Garmin 530s and 430. I just went ahead and did it that way, where I can just I'll go ahead and clear this out, and we will go ahead and delete the old flight plan from the previous job. And we'll go ahead and highlight the one that we're going to today, which is that one right there, and then hit OK. So that's kind of simulating that we did everything at our desk in our office, and we had the tablet, and the tablet's downloading it into the avionics suite. So we're going to pretend that the 530 has the ability to be able to import from your tablet your flight plan into your into it. If you really want to go crazy, then you could say, well, hey, because we're next to our hangar right here and we have Wi-Fi, you could say that the Wi-Fi, we got the information via the Wi-Fi, and it put it in there and didn't even have the tablet involved. But now we'll just say tablets for sake of argument. So we are set and ready to go here, and all we got to do now is just take off, and it looks like how we are going to go, which looks like how we're going to go here is we're going to leave KWJF, get on the Victor Airway 197, and then go over to Admon, then from Admont, or Mont, whatever, and then we'll just kind of go from there on Victor Airway 459, and then there's a zippity doodah zippity day all the way to FAR, and then FAR we'll kind of go over here to somewhere here next to where is this? Merced, Tulare, Turlock. We have Merced Regional Airport, so we'll be in that area, and then we'll bang a right and just kind of tootle our way up to our destination in Bear Valley, which is out there in I don't know, how close are we to anything here? We get a little bit of a reference point here where we're at. Oh, we'll be just south of South Lake Tahoe, so we'll be up in the mountains. Okay. Like I say, I've never flown there, so, and that's one thing I do like about you know, this little generator thing, is that it'll take you to places that you don't not necessarily want to go. Obviously, it's probably going to be a little bitty airport that doesn't have very much of anything. It's probably unimproved, but we are flying an aircraft that is can go into unimproved strips. So hey, you know, it's all good there. So we are set there. And let's go ahead and release the parking brake. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get our beta action going on here. And we'll go full on our conditioners. And we'll control our stuff. And so I'm going to fast forward this, and I'll be right back, and I'll go ahead and get rid of me. We really don't need to look at me anymore. So here's me. Bye me. Alrighty, so here we are, and we'll go ahead and we will get ready to take off here. So I'll go ahead and put both pumps on just for extra little juice, and igniters on just for a little bit of extra little help, and make sure everything else is on. I should have had the lights on, but I didn't have the lights on. Alright, fine, whatever. And we'll go ahead and put these on right about here. Here. Alright. We'll go ahead and adjust our nose pitch trim to neutral, because neutral to -1. I found this aircraft really likes to rear up. It really likes to pitch up big time. So we're going to go ahead and go -1 on our pitch out of the box. And let's make sure that our autopilot is set and ready to go. And so we're going to make sure we are on heading first. Heading is prepped, and autopilot is set. We don't need any flaps because, like I say again, this aircraft, it likes to pitch up big time. So we are good. We are good on that. So I think we are set and ready to go here. And we will go ahead and take off. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. That's why there's checklists I don't use. And we'll go ahead and go full power. Well, almost full power. We don't want to go too full power, because if we did, we would burn these engines up. And we're coming up to 80 knots. Go ahead and pull back. And we are in the air. There we go. Here we go. Go ahead and throw down our autopilot just because. And then we will switch over to turn to the heading of 298, so we can get on the Palmdale VOR. Basically, is what we're doing, is getting to that 298 Palmdale radio. And we'll we'll knock ourselves down to about 1,000 feet per minute. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. So now all we gotta do is get to 11,500 feet and just take our little drive, our little flight here all the way over. So I will catch you guys on the other side when we're there to land. So I'll see you guys shortly. Alrighty, we are back and we're setting up here to land. As you can tell, I'm unfamiliar with the area, with the airport, so I was trying to figure out, get the lay of the land. So I've been kind of circling around the aircraft or the area a little bit just to kind of get my feel. I went ahead and set my course so that way it's just in line with the runway. So now we're going to make we're going to spin around here and we're going to land. Pretty simple. We'll land at 01. The closest reported NOAA weather station was saying the winds weren't reported, so we're just going to go for it. Land on runway 1. We're going to take this thing down with no torque. And you can see the weather popping a lot, because I think I'm in a situation where I'm bouncing between two different radio weather station reporting stations. We'll go ahead and throw in a notch of flaps. Let's get this thing up in the air so I can see. But up here in the mountains, it kind of makes things difficult. I'm just going to go for it here. This would probably look awesome in X-Plane or in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but that's not what we're doing. Right now, right where the post is. There it is. Full flaps, everything is down. Lights are not on, of course. There, now lights are all on. And let's see if I can actually land this damn thing. Look, I'm doing a very good job, does it? It'll be a crappy landing, of course. Come on. Won't be exactly on the runway, but hey, you know. It is what it is. Kind of landed with a bit of a tailwind, it looks like. But we're here, we're on the ground. Yay! Those flaps up. Like I said, this Bear Valley I've never been to before. All right, that's close enough. The brakes. There is the brakes, and there is our, we got 240 XP for this, so that's pretty good. Very good. I just noticed that didn't shut down, so that's all right. I'll just pull back. Turn everything off. Switches are off. We actually got here on the ground. We still have our tip tanks full, so we didn't use up all of our fuel, so that's good. Very nice. Very good. And we are here in Bear Valley, California, USA, wherever that is. Go ahead and throw in our chocks, our cones, leave everything else out. So cool deal, cool beans. Well, I appreciate you guys watching this video, this quick little one, and we can go. Actually, yeah, we'll do it another time because like I say again, I'm still trying to get back into the groove. I was going to do a landing, but I'm thinking either it's the NOAA thing is being too aggressive with the weather, or it is the head tracking is making it, because I usually land a lot better than that, and it's in this airplane I've been having a real hard time landing. I'm probably gonna have to load another airplane and then go through the process and to see, where, hey, I've always landed great with this airplane, so I want to see if I've been adding too much things against me, and that's what's causing me to have crappy landings. But whatever, I try. But anyway, you guys take care, and I've also been out of the loop for a while as well, so I'm not in that groove. You gotta go, it's like riding a bicycle. You gotta get back into it and just keep on going again, and then you're back in there, good to go again. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely like, subscribe, and all other happy stuff that everybody says, and I'll catch you guys next time on another exciting X-Plane adventures where I'll go somewhere and do something. And but like I say, I'd kind of like to land this in Microsoft Flight Simulator because of the graphics and see what it looks like. But as far as having everything working well, everything works well with Linux, when X-Plane with Linux and everything. So I'm pleased. So anyway, you guys take care. Have yourselves a great one. Laters. Bye.